Okay, once again, we're here with the Honorable Angel Ferdinand Marcos and some distinguished members of his team. Maybe you can just introduce everyone real quick and then we can go to some updates and some questions.
In my left hand is my good friend, Honorable Fiscal Barrios. He's a famous attorney. On my right hand is our Honorable Datu
Yep.
from Davao, representing indigenous people.
Okay, and the young ladies?
And the three young ladies are members of entertainment industries that participating in our scholarship program.
Okay. We're well into March now and we wanted to get an update from you on where things are with the development of the programs that you're working on.
Okay, we have a breakthrough, which is we have managed to issue out 8 billion policy worldwide. It could be replaced the Obamacare if they want to use it. It only costs the government 1% to utilize it for 500,000 educational policy, US dollars, and 500,000 medical policy, and it will only cost them 1%. If the individual who will use it and they cannot afford it, we will be happy, GDPA will be happy to pay for it and subsidize the 1%. That's one of the breakthrough. It will be issued by HMK Holding, GDPA, and also underwritten by Swiss Guarantee from Switzerland.
So is that program just another tax that the people are gonna have to pay for?
No, these are grant. The people are not shouldering it. We're the one setting aside funds for trade to pay for this educational policy and medical policy.
Okay, so tell us about the scholarship program.
The scholarship program, anyone can avail because the entitlement of every citizen of the world under Bretton Woods Convention. Remember when they issue bond against individual person to house you, to feed you, to educate you, and to medically care you. But that treaty was never implemented.
Okay.
It was violated by every institution, including the UN, IMF, World Bank, and other governments. But now we are implementing it in our own division, is to issue out educational and medical policy for humanity.
Just to make it clear, so all of those expenses are not a government expense that has to be paid back by the people with the taxes?
No, they're not, because these are designed by us and by me to assist the government to share our abundance of wealth, to assist the mankind and the government and humanity so they can be educated and so they can be treated for whatever sickness they have.
Irregardless of politics,
Regardless of
race?
religion, race, side, whichever side they have, regardless of whatever political side they have.
We've asked these three young ladies to ask a question of the Honorable here about the education policy. You have a question?
Yes, what I care about the scholarship, how they can avail the scholarship and how can they use it?
Yeah, it's easy to avail it. You can apply and go to our website. You can fill up the form. Then we can send you a certification, a grant. Then we could organize a connection with a school wherever you go. Once you were given a grant, then we'll pay for your education up to the maximum whatever you were entitled with.
Okay, sir. How much would be the budget for the scholarships for the
Filipinos or every member nation of the UN are entitled to this, okay, and every indigenous people. The minimum is 100,000 US, maximum is 500,000 US. Is the total grant that you can have. So you could be professional, you could be doctor, you could be whatever you want, and we pay for it as long as you study and get the proper grade that we require. You know, of course, we demand a little bit of standard. You know.
Go ahead.
How can I use it?
The policy, once it's issued to you, within 90 days, you can set up all the data that we require. Then we will talk to your school, whatever school that you have, and pay for the education, the grant. You know. This is a guarantee that you don't pay nothing, except you have a participation fee, 1%. But if you cannot afford it, we'll pay for it. You know.
Thank you.
All right. On the other stuff, on the medical policy program, anyone who's sick, or who wants to go to school, they don't need to worry payment, because we could subsidize by the medical treatment or bills in every hospital or institution, as long as they apply and they get their certification for medical policy, and we will pay for it, and we will be happy to assist. So we don't want any burden anymore worldwide. If you're sick, you have to sell your house, you have to sell your car, you have to sell yourself in order to treat yourself. We don't have that no more. Everybody, I believe, can put together an assistance with us to distribute this information and to let everybody know that there is an answer for all those prayers that they were asking for before.
Can you tell us a little bit about the projects you're working on with the governor?
The governor, we have a project which is pertaining with the indigenous people. They were the first one that were granted for 200,000 homes that will be built in Davao City.
Fantastic. That's a good birthday gift, huh?
Thank you.
And it's also, the governor is in charge of 14 million indigenous people. You know, so we are proud to assist those people that have been denied for many years for their rights.
Maybe you can give us just a quick update on how you view JIDIFA, what kind of an organization, what you see the future.
Yes, as I understand, because TDPA is also a sovereign nation because of the billion members all over the world. And it's a great help to us indigenous people, especially the housing project, the 200,000 houses
That's
in
great.
Davao City within our President Duterte's place.
Tell us about the homes. What size of a home are they gonna build?
We have 200 square meters lot and 100 square meters the floor area.
Yeah.
With second floor, and it's about 2.5 million worth of the house.
So it's a two-story house?
Two-story house. And it's the first time that indigenous people can have the very
A good home.
mm,
Yes,
and we have to thank our Magbabaya or God
absolutely.
and our Titipa, especially our is also the promise to his father. The time will come that he will help the Mindanao.
You have a history with his father. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I was working with former President Marcos, 1971.
1971?
Yeah, before Marcel.
That was the year I was born, actually.
But 1980, I was attracted to go back to Mindanao
Okay.
to study the custom and tradition of our tribe. And I asked him why. He said, because the custom and tradition of the tribe is the practice sovereign rights, which is the inherent rights of our ancestors or our Magkobaya or God. That's why Mindanao was good as land of promise. And that law that we exercise now is the law. Right?
Okay.
And it is true that in my experience that I owe this position to President Marcos, because if not from President Marcos, I don't know what. That's why I'm the governor now, because of President Marcos.
He gave you the vision
Yes,
and
yes.
the mission to,
And when I met Mrs. Imelda Marcos and BICC during
Yeah.
the ritual of Karmapa, 2006, she told me that 1986, 86, I was asked by President Marcos to see you in Mindanao, but I don't know the address. Why, ma'am? Because he told me that the treasures or you are in charge of the treasure or web in Mindanao. But I told her that I don't know that gold or whatever in Mindanao, but my position there is to study the law of our tribe.
yes.
And now it is the Republic Act 871 of April 1996. So not the treasure or whatever, because not from infra law. We secure the wealth
Okay.
because of infra law. So the law is very important to us because we exercise the sovereign rights. This is the governance within the government of the Republic of the Philippines. But the Philippine government is a corporate law.
Yes.
But they don't have the authority to decide in behalf of our jurisdiction within ancestral.
Okay.
So we have sovereign rights. So the president told us in first SUNA that your tribe, you have the indigenous rights. You practice it within your ancestral land, so that your land must be developed your land within your territory and your jurisdiction, but do it in a legal, in accordance with our constitutional rights.
Sure.
Now GDPA is helping us to do it.
Well, maybe the Honorable can explain to us more about the treasures that are in Mindanao and why it's the promised land. What does that mean?
Big subject.
That's a very loaded question.
The treasure
Yes.
that we recovered in Mindanao, 1967, we formed a task force recovery, composed of 1,000 men, led by me, another 1,000 men led by Orlando Dula, another 1,000 men led by Fabian Sibi. This is what they call task force restoration. It's our Operation Rainbow 2, whose original task force was part of Douglas MacArthur, and together with my Ferdinand E. Marcos, which is my father, and also together with Colonel Severino Santana. Those are the three task force leaders in Operation Rainbow. During our operation, in Operation Rainbow 2, we have formed a task force Liway Y, task force Masagana, and Operation Rainbow 2. we recovered and discovered 263 underground bunkers, 172 underground vault, and 850 sites, and 6,000 untouched sites. When we did a forensic examination of the treasure, most of these treasure are 5,700 years old, not World War II. So what it means, these assets have been around with our land for less than 6,000 years old. So therefore the claim that everybody claimed that this was given to us is not true. We inherit this in our inherit land. We have a law of salvage that anyone who will discover treasure underneath his public land is automatically owned by the government, and 25% goes to the person who recovered. We have another, the other side is if you recover it in your private land, 75% will be owned by you and 25% will go to the government. Up to now, that law still exists. Now, those people who claim about our assets being part of United States, they are wrong. So you can ask me this question about Karen Hudes making a statement about the gold that is deposited in the World Bank and IMF, 400,000 metric tons. The total gold that were deposited worldwide are more than 400,000 metric tons. The records show 2007 Committee of 300 and United Nations records, it showed that we have 13,400,000 metric tons. That's the fact. Now, since the treaty expired, is automatically the gold will go back to the owners of the gold, which is the Philippines and the Filipino people. And us as a custodian and steward of these assets, we're protecting it. We were the one who recovered it. So up to this time, we're challenged everyone to do the DNA of the gold and to do the carbon dating of the gold, that this gold is more than 6,000 years old. What else?
Yeah, I think that's a lot for today. Maybe on the next interview, we can go over all the claims that have been made by Karen Hudes and go over all those details. Unless there's anything else you wanted to cover.
Well, whatever the question that you wanted me to answer at this time, regards with this gold, I will answer it. If you want, we can answer the first video, exposure of Karen Hudes.
You wanna go over those questions
Yes,
now?
yeah.
Okay.
I'd be happy to do that.
She says there's 1,000,000 metric tons on deposit with the World Bank and IMF. So your answer is,
It's more than 1 million. The trilateral bilateral agreement is already 1.5 each million metric tons. The bilateral agreement is 1.5, it's secured by 1.5 million metric tons. The trilateral agreement is 1.5 million metric tons. And the other agreement and other treaty is covered by many millions metric tons, a total of 13 million metric tons. The collateral reserve program are also covered by millions of metric tons. Each gold collateral that were used as a gold backup of every currencies of 172 nations came from us.
She talks about the Marcos Foundation. What is the Marcos Foundation?
Marcos Foundation is one of the foundation that we use as a vehicle to secure these assets. There's 850 foundation that we use to secure these assets. Not only one foundation, 850 foundation. And there's 22,000 corporations that we place this to secure and finance each country.
So how are you related or affiliated with the Ferdinand Marcos Foundation?
I am one of the signatories of the Marcos Foundation. I was one of the one who distribute these assets worldwide. My relationship is I am the M1, the monetary one. I am the signatory trustee beneficial owner of the assets. Now I follow under trust instruction from many treaties and from many agreements, and also from right now, since the treaty expired, I follow the last will of testament of my father,
Okay.
which is 50% goes to the rest of the world, 25% goes to the Marcoses, and 25% goes to the Filipino citizens.
Okay. So she talks about a special agreement that was signed in 1950. Which one was that agreement?
The agreement was the trilateral and bilateral agreement, which is the collateral reserve program, which is bringing up the gold as reserve for each country. This also gave birth to the 1950 is the implementation of the Bretton Woods Convention Agreement, a New Hampshire, which is the creation of IMF, the creation of World Bank, the creation of United Nations, and the creation of all financial agencies and central banking system. Yes.
Okay, she talks about that there's a signatory of the special account of the gold is Wolfgang Struck. Is that true?
No, it's not true. Wolfgang Struck who is a lawyer in Germany, claiming to have the authority for these assets. By virtue of deed of assignment that came from a priest that supposedly my father assigned this to that priest.
Okay.
Wolfgang Struck doesn't even know where the asset is. You know, they're just claiming it in behalf of the US government. Well, I challenge them to come out in the open and I will give them the actual paperwork.
Speaking of, she talks about a cloak of secrecy. First of all, what is a cloak of secrecy?
The cloak of secrecy is the highest secrecy agreement